evening, campers. Guess who has put off reviewing this exact book for 4 days? It is I, it is me, it is he. I want to say in regards to this specific video, it's going to be one of two things. It's going to be a review on this book, but also a little bit of a reflection on my thoughts as a reviewer for negatively reviewing a book that is currently being read, currently being lauded, currently being hyped. Everyone loves it, bar me. Yes, to the absolute dismay of all of you watching this, see Pam Zhang's How Much of These Hills is Gold, to me, fell so short of what not even a good book, what an okay book would set out to achieve. Therefore, instantly this joins the Testaments Club and gets a 2 out of 10. Let's just get that out of the way in my video where I discussed the long list of the Booker 2020. How much of these hills of gold really compelled me? A story that starts off, and I have to say the intro is utterly compelling to want to read and to really get into the story, where Sam and Lucy, 11 or 12, are carrying their dead, decomposing father across the Western Plains, trying to find a place to bury him. As a starting point to a book, I would argue with anyone who said that they are not intrigued or have not had their interest piqued by such an opening. And a strong, the only strong thing in this book, opening it is. Textbook 101. Grip your reader from the earliest moment. Go to a workshop, go to any writing class, have a degree in creative writing. Getting the attention of your reader is paramount, and this book does that. The majority of reviews, however, will tell you as a reader that the first part of this book is slow, and it's not slow due to what happens in it. It's the way that Zhang is writing this book. The first part of this novel is 69, stop it, is 69 pages long. Now, it doesn't matter what the book is or what it's talking about. If you're going to tell me that I am going to struggle for 70 pages in a book that is 270 pages, that is nearly a quarter of a book you are asking a reader to struggle to go through. But I parked those reviews aside and went in open-minded, only to be reconfirmed that a quarter of this book is an absolute chore to get through. So from hitting 25% of this book, I had hopes that the writing would pick up. And for me, this did not do it in any way, shape or form. Had this not been on the Booker long list, I would have given up halfway through part 2. This writing it's clunky. It doesn't have a flow, and I've been thinking about this for the past few days, and the writing style of this is the closest I can call it to neo-beatnik. And who wants to read neo-beatnik? Overtly meandering, overtly descriptive, overtly nothing being said for many pages. Kiri, jump straight into writing style. What is this story about? Lucy and Sam are American Chinese citizens, and their mother Ma is a Chinese immigrant who has come over to California during the gold rush to obtain work, and their father, Ba, is a first Chinese American citizen. So what is the story about? How their family are trying to find home, even though home means many different things to the four members of the same family. Is that it? That seems like it. That theme alone is a brilliant springboard in which to develop your argument and to hone in on each character. But we do not. And one character who I wish there was more of, because it for me it feels completely thrown in, and that is Sam. That is the character of Sam, who is and I'm gonna say or, because I don't actually know, because it's not discussed really. Sam is either non-binary or transgender. Sam is born into the body of a woman, but feels their gender aligns more with being male. But none of this is like discussed, and it's thrown in, and it's kind of left there. It's kind of left there. Nothing's really discussed. And another thing that muddied the waters for me is that Ba is coercing, it feels, Sam to be more of a boy, because when Sam was young and they're playing, Ba wants Sam to like engage with being called a son, and there's something about that that I don't know. It doesn't sit. It just muddies. It doesn't clarify anything for me. But if you're going to read this for a transgender, non-binary perspective character, I would say look elsewhere. Read Paul takes the form of a mortal girl, because that will tick more of your boxes than this ever will. Given all this negativity, surely there's something positive you can say about this novel. Yes, it awakened me to a time, a period that I was unaware of, and this is California's gold rush, the epoch of capitalism, some may say, where a large group of Chinese immigrants from the southern part of China moved homes, like uprooted themselves to come to America to find prosperity, to find wealth, in order to find a better home. Rather than the dream of being engulfed in gold and money to your heart's content, these Chinese immigrants were faced with hard labour, the tasks that the American man did not want to undertake, and were exploited. That, as a period, absolutely enlightening. So much so that I did some research. I did some research on that to find a bit more, because anything, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know it was a thing. Remember when I said the south of China? This is really important, and something that I want someone in the comments to like explain to me. The characters in this book speak Mandarin. And Mandarin, in this time period, is not spoken widely in the south. More likely, they are going to be speaking Cantonese, which would fit beautifully, because in Cantonese, California means gold mountain, which would have this lovely linguistic approach to the title, and the majority of themes to come, and many metaphors that you will be slowly, laboriously reading through. So why does Ma speak Mandarin? So I don't understand why Mandarin is being used in this novel when the history dictates it's more likely to be a southern dialect of China during this time period. But please, someone let me know, because it has been bugging me since like finding that out. It's absolutely grated me. It feels as though this is trying to take a pan-Chinese American approach, where China is such a big country, you can't give it a pan experience. It is similar to, like, if it was like an Indian novel, to assume that all the characters speak Hindi because in the Western world that's the one most known. It just jars with me. It just jars with me. It just jars with me. It would be the same thing as if someone was writing about the Pilgrims going to America, but having them all speak like in a Scottish accent. It's not to say that some of them didn't speak in a Scottish accent, but most likely they were English and they spoke in an English accent at the time. And you can't give an author leeway on one side and not give leeway on another. The decision to use Mandarin clearly has an authorial intent and an authorial meaning. I don't know what that meaning is. I can't figure out why. I can't figure out why that was. Now, I might be more picky because I had actually drained myself by reading prose I think is difficult. The writing in this is difficult. Is it bad writing? No. Reading How Much of These Hills Is Gold is akin to reading Jacob's Room by Virginia Woolf. Woolf's first ever novel, where she tried to sculpt out, she tried to discover her voice, her stream of consciousness style. If you've read Jacob's Room, you will know, like me, it is impenetrable at times. You have to work so hard to extract very little. Now, over Virginia Woolf's bibliography, she hones it, she crafts it, she finds her groove, and she stays in that groove. And her writing is impeccable. Virginia Woolf. As a modernist writer, absolutely one of the best. And I think Pam Zhang in her next novel will take a very similar approach to writing and sentence constructing and word choice and form and general structure, but it will be honed. She'll be able to find that voice clearer and will be able to articulate her means to readers easier. So I'm excited for what Zhang's going to give me in a next novel, because I feel as though this is the route she's going down. She's trying to find her own voice. But when finding new voices, sometimes it's miscommunicated, it's lost, and what resonates with some people will not resonate with everyone. It feels as though I'm going against the vox populi, and that is a very scary thing. But for me to lie to you or to change my initial score or to pick out things that are better, for me, it feels fraudulent in some way. We might utterly disagree on many books. And you know what? That's good. That's good, because if everyone just gave 5 stars to every single book that they'd read, you would have no idea what that person likes, and more importantly, how you align with yourself as a reader to that reviewer. And I always feel you need the good with the bad. I will happily say how much of these hills is gold was a miserable read for me. I didn't enjoy it. Would I recommend it? No, because for me to tell you to read a book that for 25% you will genuinely not enjoy, and the majority of people are saying that, it's not just me, that's an ask. That is an ask and a half. 2 out of 10. You have joined the infamous Testaments Club. I'll see you next week.